Well, I thought I'd talk about something. Something I've been hearing now. Okay, Shell was fairly involved in Russia in the oil exploration, and now they are going to be forced to sell their holdings in Russia at quite a loss. They're going to take a hell of a beating on this, but there are all kinds of rules involved when they sell, back to Russia. But the interesting thing, they're going to make money on this. And immediately Zelensky jumps in there and says, "Oh, that's blood money, and we should get it." That Shell should turn this money over to them, like it's found money, and anything money loose belongs to Ukraine. But what I thought was interesting, something I haven't heard anybody bring up. There was a thing going on before. Just when this whole overthrow of the government, when we got involved in that, at the time, Crimea was still under Ukrainian control. And they had made a deal with Shell and Exxon to drill offshore of Crimea in the Black Sea because there's supposed to be a lot of natural gas, but it's in fairly deep water. But it's in Crimea's area of control. Now, they had made a deal, and I don't know how much money had changed hands from Shell and Exxon to Ukraine for this deal. But when Crimea had the referendum and reunited with Russia, the deal was off, which really pissed Ukraine off because they thought, "Hey, man, we're going to, they were going to get rich off of this natural gas." And I think we had some involvement there too. Well, we always do. If there's big oil companies wanting a certain thing, we're right there to back them up. But that fell apart, and I think, I think Ukraine had to give back some money. So I think that's part of the reason. They really they want Crimea in the worst way. But I think that's part of the reason is to get at that natural gas, if they could get that going again. Of course, this is a wild and crazy dream, and it'll never happen. But I think that's one of their motivations and one of our motivations, because, what Shell and Exxon want, we're there. But I think that's part of it. I think that's what's going on. But it's funny, I never hear anybody bring that up. But it was going on right at the time of the coup. It's a funny deal. But pay attention to that. But I think that is one of the reasons that we're pushing so hard, because we will do anything for those big oil companies. And I'm sure, like the EU, of course, this natural gas would have been going right to Europe. I don't know, now that Russia actually has control of that economic area, I doubt if they would even bother. They got all the natural gas they know what to do with. So I don't think that they're going to be digging in there. Plus, like I said, it's deep water. It's not an easy thing. You take the easy gas. You don't go for the hard stuff. But that's what Shell and Exxon had planned. They were going for that gas. And they don't know for a fact that it's there, but everything points to there being a massive reserve of gas under the Black Sea. So we'll see. We're back to, I had gotten rid of most of the snow in the garden, and I thought, okay, be able to till one of these days, now it's snowing again. Well, snow and rain mixed. So it's a sloppy mess. I won't get in there for a while again. But that's the way it is here. Yeah, we can get snow in May even, so it's not a shocker. But I was going to run into town today, and I decided when the roads are like this, I'll wait. The good thing is the stuff is melting fairly fast because the ground temperature had started to rise. In fact, the funny thing, I noticed this early when I was plowing snow. The ground was not froze. Our ground under the snow cover never froze because we had immediately like a foot of that fluffy snow. And that is a great insulator. So, you could, all winter, I know people could drive fence posts in the ground, because it wasn't froze. Now, if you scrape like a road clear, then it will freeze. But where the snow is, it insulated it. So I get in the garden. It's funny because I even saw some, I was digging around a little yesterday just testing it out. And places like I had missed a couple of carrots last year digging. Them carrots are still fine. They kept over winter in the ground because it never froze. But I noticed that when I was plowing snow, if you got out with the wing and got a little low, you could hook a slab of sod, and like normally your pocket gopher mounds and stuff are pure hell the first time you go out and try to wing something off. This year, whoop, they just cut right through them, because they were not froze. The good thing about that is this water that's melting from all the snow is going into the ground. It isn't running off. So I don't know that we'll have too bad of a flooding problem this year. It's soaking it up. I normally have some spots in the driveway that get to be water holes. It melted right into the ground. I got a few ruts in the driveway, but that's always that way here. But it's going. But I think we're going to have a couple of days of this, then maybe a couple of days of sun. Maybe I can get the garden dug. We'll see. But it's been a tough year for getting started on stuff. But at least, now it's hovering right around the freezing mark, so it isn't so hard to heat, and it's not a big deal. In fact, I had the one motorcycle out for a little drive. I should actually run out and get mail of that now, but she's a little scooty on this snow and slush and mud. But I made it the other day. I'll maybe try it again. But we'll see. I'll be curious if the Russians ever actually decide to go out there and drill. But like I say, they got natural gas all over. They don't really need to go out there. But that was, I think, part of the push in that whole regime change. Because we do love to back oil companies. We'll do anything for them at whatever cost. Oh well.